everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Tuesday today, a bit of a wet day here on the west coast. In fact, we had snow warnings this morning, although we didn't actually see any, which was a good thing. So I've been in my craft room all day playing with some of the new products that I haven't played with. Today's the day that the January to April mini catalog went live, as well as the January online exclusives, as well as 3 brand new kits from the kit collection. All went live today, busy day. And so if you haven't seen it yet, oh my gosh, you really want to get your hands on the catalog, or just go online and you can go to my online store and shop the catalog and shop the online exclusives and find them online. If you want a catalog, head over to my blog at stampingwithmelva.com and you will find links to be able to request a catalog. Make sure you live in Canada, because I can't provide catalogs to outside of Canada. I can't sell to outside of Canada. And if you have a regular demonstrator, I suggest you reach out to them to get a catalog from them. All right, I am going to play with the Beach Boardwalk suite today. I love this suite. It's so much fun. I love going on rides, and so therefore this one with the Ferris wheel kind of caught my attention. So it's a sketch challenge day, as I do on every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. I share a brand new sketch. If you got my newsletter this morning, you would have seen this sketch already. It looks pretty simple, but I'm going to fancy it up using this Beach Boardwalk suite. All right, let's get started. So this is the sketch. Like I said, it looks pretty simple, and you could do some really simple and easy things if you wanted to make some quick cards, but you could also fancy it up and make it more avid by using the die cuts in this bundle that I'm using. So the card base is 5.5 by 8.5. First layer is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I said this dark layer in the middle, I said 1.5 by 5 1/4. I'm going to make mine a little bit wider because of what I want to do with it. So like I've said before, sketches are just guidelines, and so if you need to make it wider, go for it. And then 2 pieces that I said 1 inch by 5 1/4. Actually, there should be probably anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, and I'll fix that on the sketch before I post it. But you can make it, as wide. You can tuck them under if you want to. And if you originally, when I thought about this and designed this sketch, I was thinking that the sentiment would just be stamped on here. So I'm adding an extra layer for my sentiment as well. So like I said, you can just use these sketches as a guideline. All right, so here is this gorgeous catalog that so if you've got your hands on it, the what's it called? Beach Boardwalk. There it is. The Beach Boardwalk suite is on page 46 and 47. I can actually finally show you, actually in 48 there's some samples, show you the inside of the catalog. We're not allowed to show the inside of the catalog until it actually goes live. So some great images. This is a really affordable suite. It's not a big suite, so you have the stamp set and dies. You have these, they're called, what are they called? Puffy, Beach Boardwalk puffy stickers. And then some really gorgeous designer series paper. So it's just a kind of a smaller suite with just the bundle, the embellishments, and the paper. So I'll show you. This is the bundle. So this is the stamp set. So a stamp set of the roller coaster, which is what I'm going to use. But you've got die cuts that will cut out the cars, and die cuts to cut out 2 of the trees, the palm trees. And then die cuts that will cut out the Ferris wheel. Oopsie. Those are the cars that I'm going to use on mine. The tickets and stars. These are the cars for the Ferris wheel. So those are the die cuts. I wish there was a die cut for the roller coaster, but I think the roller coaster is pretty easy to cut out using your paper snips. And then some sentiments. Celebrate, hey sunshine, enjoy the ride, and happy birthday. And if you haven't seen the new product of the month, which of course I don't have my hands on yet because I couldn't order it until today, there's some great sentiments, all sentiments on the stamp set. What a great deal. So if you put an order in of $100, you can buy the stamp set for $5. So that's the January product of the month. Again, only while supplies last. I think this one's going to be really popular. Yeah. The other thing that's going started today was bonus days. So on orders of $60 or more, you will get a bonus coupon that you can use on orders in February. Okay, so these are this is the paper. So you've got these really pretty colors with palm trees, and on the other side, just some kind of a very gradient, kind of mottled. These could be fussy cut if you wanted to. Some big Ferris wheels, some carousels, balloons. And on the other side, again, a gradient from yellow up through pink. Sunshine, all gradient, so kind of orangey all the way up to a light yellow. On the other side, marbled effect. This one looks like a pool. Very pretty. And on the other side, again, more marbled, but with the blues. This would be a great scrapbook layout, this one with the palm trees. I'm using this one today. I really thought this was fun. Again, the gradient layer with some patterns. And then these are great fun background, but you can cut these out and use them for sentiments if you wanted to. And on the back side, again, is the same kind as I'm using with the pinks and purples, but in kind of pool party shades. So that's the paper, really pretty paper. Okay, what else? Oh, these are the puffy dots. No, puffy stickers. So stickers for balloons and the carousel, some dots, some tickets, some stars, some candy, cotton candy. So fun stickers that you can use on your cards. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do today. So I'm using basic black. I thought it was striking against this is the designer series paper, and I intentionally cut it. So this is 4 inches by 5.5, and when I cut it out of the long piece, I actually kind of cut it in the middle, so I got some of the gradient. That's on the other side of the palm tree. All right, so this is 5.5 by 8.5, and we're gonna score it at 4.25. Get my bone folder, fold into the mountain with a raised line, and give it a good burnish with your bone folder. So then I've got my piece of designer series paper, and then I've got a strip of basic black. It's wider than I said you would need. So this is 2.5, and it's because I'm going to stamp on it the roller coaster. So I'm going to cut it down, but I needed it wide enough to stamp on that. And then I've got 2 pieces of gold foil. Again, these are 1/2 inch pieces, and so I will fix the sketch because I said 1 inch on the sketch, and you don't need 1 inch strips, otherwise you won't see any of the designer series paper. So I've got 2 pieces of those. Those are going to go below, above and below. And I'm going to do some heat embossing because I thought that the roller coaster heat embossed in gold would be really pretty. So I'm going to just rub over my piece of black cardstock with my embossing buddy just to take away some of the static that might be on there. So when I put my gold embossing powder, it doesn't kind of splatter all over the place. And I'm just going to ink up my stamp. Now when I have a big stamp like this, I often ink it up from the top. Just makes it easier for me. And then we will just press down. I want to make sure I get, oopsie, I press down really hard. And you probably, oh, you can see that. And I've got my embossing powder. I always keep mine in a big plastic container. You may keep it in the little jars, but I find I make less of a mess when it's in this kind of container. And so we're just gonna sprinkle the embossing powder. And I got a section in here that didn't get inked up very well, but that's okay. And while I have my ink out, I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says enjoy the ride. And before I do that, I want to just want to figure out where that's going to go because I want to cut it out with my ticket. Oopsie, got it upside down. So I'm going to stamp Enjoy the Ride. And then I can emboss this all in one go. Bring in my embossing powder. There we go. If you get powder, just take and flick your finger on the opposite side, or just kind of wipe it away if you get powder. Okay. So my heat tool is here. So this might get loud. So I'm going to hold it in one spot over top of the powder. Let's put that in there so you can start to see. So hold it in one place. There we go. Can you start to see that? There you go, you can. And then once you start to see it melt and get really glossy and shiny, you can start to move it around until your entire image, all the powder has been melted. Once it comes to temperature and starts to melt, it goes very quickly. Isn't that cool? Reminds me, so I lived in Vancouver for the longest time, and Vancouver actually has, if you're not from there, has a wooden roller coaster, which is very cool. There aren't many of them around. And so it's very clunky. Now I'm just going to cut around this because I want to take and cut out my sentiment using this great ticket die. Yeah, so the roller coaster in Vancouver, the wooden roller coaster, is very clunky. It's not a smooth ride, and so as you're going up the roller coaster, it's kind of clunking along and making all sorts of noises, but the whole thing is wooden. It's very cool. At least I think it's still there. It's been a while since I've been to the Pacific National Exhibition Grounds. All right, so I'm just going to take, there isn't a die to cut the roller coaster out, but that's okay because it's pretty easy just to follow around these curves with your paper snips. Not going real close. I'm just kind of going up and cutting around. It's probably a 1/16 of an inch-ish as I cut around. You could do this in silver. You could do it in copper. All sorts of any of the metallic embossing powders will do. And I have a feeling this is going to be longer than my piece of designer series paper. So this is going to go across, and it is. So I'm going to take and I'm going to trim it. So I'm just going to lay it there. And I realize that my gold pieces are not going to work without another piece of basic black. So let me grab a piece of basic black. Was more thinking about this, so we're gonna do this on top of it. So I am gonna cut a piece of basic black that will go underneath my roller coaster. So if I figure out how wide this is, so it's just over. So if I did do this 2 inches by 5 1/4. This piece will go on like this, and then my 2 pieces of foil, and then my roller coaster will go on like that, so you'll be able to see it. Okay. My glue. So don't forget to let me know where you're watching from. Just gonna make sure I can see comments. All right, so we're going to put this roughly in the middle. And then these are going to have to trim. Hey, Catherine. Happy New Year. All right, let me get my silicone mat so I don't get my glue all over. So I'm just going to lay that over top. Hopefully it's straight. There we go. And now I can take and trim off the extra. If you just cut your foil to be 5 1/4, you don't have to do this, but I'm not sure what I was thinking when I was getting ready. All right, so that will, I got sticky fingers. Okay, now I'm going to use dimensionals on my roller coaster. And pop that up. Hey Pam, welcome. All right, so then this can just go on. And if I need to, I can trim off any excess, but I think I've got it. Okay, there we go. That's on. Now I do need to cut. Actually, where did I said, oh, here they are. So I had cut out in advance the cars for my roller coaster, which I think. So that would have been better if they were black, which I can do, so that's okay. I can. Thought they were gold would show up, but they're not going to. So we'll just cut them again. Let's put these using a piece of black. And then my sentiment piece at the same time. Save those gold roller coaster cars for another project. All right, so there's my sentiment. Enjoy the ride. And now the cars. There we go. And if you are better than I am as far as thinking ahead of time, I could have cut these out using foam adhesive sheets, and then they would have popped up, or not foam adhesive sheets, and then I could have just glued them on, or sorry, foam adhesive sheets, and then they would have been popped up, or just foam or adhesive sheets. Gosh, my tongue is all twisted today, but I'm just gonna use glue and put my cars on. They don't show up real well, but that's okay. And then I'm going to try and just hide my smudge or where I didn't get the Versamark onto my image. Oopsie. So glue on one end and adhesive or dimensionals on the other end. Glue showing up. Now I could add some of those puffy stickers, But I thought that the gold shaker stars would be kind of fun. The paper's got stars on it. So these are from, I think they're from the annual catalog, and if they're not from the annual catalog, they were an online exclusive. They're still available. They're great for shaker cards, but I thought that they would look really cute on here since there are stars. And since I've got gold going on, I'm going to put 5 on. You know, I always put uneven numbers. So your putty end of your take your pick tool is perfect for just picking up these. Some of them have holes in them, and some of them are solid. Question is, where did I put that other 1, 2, 3, 4? Where did I put that? Oh, there it is up there. Can't see for looking. Get another one. Oops, I got many here. All right, so the glue will adhere clear, which is good because I've got glue showing. Just gonna try. I use the pointy end of my take your pick tool to clean up glue if I can do it ahead of time. But there we go. All right, and somewhere I have another piece of, I've got a piece of basic white. So this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 for the inside, and I've got a piece of the designer series papers that is 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. So there's something on the inside of my card. There we go. My glue on. So here's the sketch. This is pretty similar. I just kind of fancied it up. So if you didn't want to fancy it up, you could just stamp the sentiment and add some layers onto a card, and it would make some quick and easy cards. A great way to use up your designer series paper that we, all have our stash of. But if you want to make it a little bit fancy, you can use some die cuts or just some heat embossing like I did on this fun card. Got a bit of frog. I don't know what's going on in my voice. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. So don't forget, I think I mentioned bonus days. So on orders of $60 or more, you can get a bonus coupon of $6 that you can use starting February 3rd, so the month of February. Also, product of the month, it's, I can't remember the name, it's a Sayings. Fabulous Sayings is the stamp set. Beautiful stamp set, some great sentiments and lovely font. And so that stamp set is $5 when you place an order of $100 or more. The new catalog went live today. The online exclusives went live. 3 brand new kits went live. Oh my gosh, what a big day it is. If you're interested in my upcoming Creativity Abound Stamp Camp, you can now place your order for the Cute as a Bug suite, and you will be registered. And also, I have a craft along coming up using the Easter Joy suite. And so if there's some options for you. You can get the full suite plus a make and take kit, or you can just get the make and take kit if you want to order the suite yourself, or the PDF is also available. So that's coming up. I'm going to share the projects. There are 8 projects, and so we're going to share them live over the course of 2 days. But if you want the make and take kit to go along with it, there's some options for you. So that is February 5th and 6th, I believe, are the dates, Thursday and Friday, for the craft along, where I'll be sharing 4 projects a day for 2 days. And then if you want the make and take kit, you need to order your supplies by about January 15th, so I can make sure I can get the make and take kit off to you in advance. You can always order them after the fact, you just won't have the supplies for the event. So all of this information is on my blog, and you can check it out there. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now, tomorrow's Wednesday, I will be live at 3 o'clock. I'm going to share a fancy fold with you, so come join me and we'll make a fancy fold together.